as we inch closer to the 2025 NFL season, we're taking a look at who the current betting favorites are to win the Super Bowl. And the answer may or may not surprise you. So, as of the time of recording, the Ravens and the Bills are tied for first as the betting favorites for plus 700 per FanDuel. Number 3 is the Philadelphia Eagles at plus 750. And at number 4, the Kansas City Chiefs at plus 800. Steve, this team has been one that we've seen a lot in the Super Bowl recently. Do you feel like Vegas has been or is disrespecting Kansas City?
No, honestly, I don't. And I say that with all of the knowledge of who I'm talking about. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, all on probably the Mount Rushmores of their individual positions, but like positions and coach, right? All more than likely are on the Mount Rushmore there. But look at the last 10 games for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in the playoffs, the last 10 playoff games. 7 of them have been single-digit victories, meaning that within a touchdown, the Chiefs have only won set by 7 of them. They have been within a touchdown or less. The first 5 games of Kansas City, of this 10-game stretch that I'm talking about, Patrick Mahomes threw for 236 yards per game, 10 touchdowns, no picks, and only was sacked 3 times with 1 fumble. The next 5 games, their most recent 5-game playoff stretch, Mahomes has thrown for 250 yards per game, up a little bit, but only 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and he's been sacked 16 times and has fumbled the ball 3 times. When I look at how they've played over their last 5 playoff games, there is a little bit of uncertainty because this was a down statistic year for Mahomes in the regular season. These were a subpar playoffs for Mahomes this year over the last 5 playoff games. As Mahomes' play takes a little bit of a downslope, and some of these other guys like Josh Allen just won the MVP. Lamar Jackson had an MVP-esque season. The Birds, how they just beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I think a lot of these Vegas odds are looking more at the upslope that some of these other guys are having and a little bit of the downslope that the Chiefs have taken over their last couple of playoff games.
I feel like we have said now maybe not specifically the sharp decline of the team, like from the Super Bowl, like with the Eagles beating them with the way they did. But I feel like we've had the same conversation about Mahomes and the Chiefs for 3 years. 4 years. I mean, they have been like, this is not the first time this question has been brought up. And as soon as they lose, it goes up. They're done. Dynasty's over. Mahomes having a drop off. It's no more. They've been to 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. They have been the number 1 seed of their conference 4 of the last 6 years. They were tied. Yeah, you had said Mahomes had a down year last year. Team wasn't doing as good. Travis Kelce lost a step. They were tied for the most wins and the least amount of losses in the NFL last year. They had a down playoffs last year by going to the Super Bowl again. By having the opportunity to complete one of the only three-peats in sports history. And now we're coming in and saying, I don't know, just something about the Chiefs don't feel right. I feel like Josh Allen might be better than him, even though that has been also the conversation for their entire careers, and it's never once been the case where Josh Allen has played better, outperformed Patrick Mahomes. Was he the MVP? Yes. If I were to ask anybody right now, who would they like to have as their starting quarterback for their team, I bet you 9 out of 10 people say Patrick Mahomes. I also do not think there is a current, like I have said multiple times, quarterback and coach are the 2 most important positions, especially in the playoffs in the NFL. There are no 2 quarterback or coach that I'd rather have right now on my team for the playoffs besides Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. So we as society are so ready to just pounce on the Chiefs and anoint someone new to that top spot as soon as they have a drop or a fall off. And they've continued to prove every single year that is just simply not the case. And regardless of how they look to us as viewers and spectators, the end results have still always been the same. It is the same exact thing as the LeBron conversation in the last, probably the same timeline, 4 years. As soon as LeBron misses a step, fails, loses whatever, he's retiring. LeBron's finally old. Father Time is won. And it's just time and time again, he proves everybody wrong. So I am not going to, I think it is disrespectful. I am not ready to say, now, should they be like the outright betting favorites? No. Do I think there should be 3 teams ranked above them? I do not.
The way they got beaten that Super Bowl, it was not a normal loss. It was an ass kicking. And it was an ass kicking of epic proportions. And literally the game right before that, they lost by that much. They won by that much. That first down, which some people still argue if it was a first down. Some people say that had the technology been in place, it would have been a first down. The Chiefs, I think, have earned their number 3 spot with how they've played over the recent. I understand they're still winning, but how many times does Steve Spagnuolo have to bail out that offense? Because let's remember, Steve Spagnuolo is the number 1 defensive coordinator in the NFL. Steve Spagnuolo, as we just got done talking about at the end of the Super Bowl, or right before the Super Bowl, is one of the greatest postseason defensive coordinators ever. What he's built with that defense, which is now getting old. The defense, the stars, it's the same thing that started to happen towards the end of Tom Brady when he was in New England. They're just starting to lose a step. It's not disrespecting them. We're appreciating and giving the flowers to other teams that are rising to that level of the occasion.
The Ravens have never beaten anybody in the postseason ever.
The Ravens should not be above them.
The Bills have never beaten the Chiefs in the postseason ever. And
understood.
I think it was only, and I could be wrong about this, I don't think I am, I think it was only diehard Eagles fans who thought the game was going to go that way.
Oh, no, nobody thought the game was going to go.
I don't think I don't think it's fair to the Chiefs that I understand that is our last image of them playing. But are we just erasing everything else and we're just like, that's the Chiefs? I just don't think that's right.
No, but to quote Jake Jeremiah, Jalen Hurts is the only quarterback to outperform Patrick Mahomes in the last 2 Super Bowls that they've played in. So I think that the Birds being ranked ahead of them would not be disrespectful. You could argue the Bills with me, but I don't think the Chiefs should be betting favorites. I think they deserve to be at 2 or 3.
Also, quick sidebar. Last night when we had pitched this idea, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Eagles were all tied at 700. So I don't know what happened or what shifts, but the Eagles are now standalone 3rd at 750 because they were all at 700 the other night.
Why do the Ravens deserve to be above the Birds?
I know. The Ravens and Bills didn't move. The Eagles moved down.
That's what I'm saying. Why?
I don't know. I don't know.
Vegas, don't be disrespecting the Birds now. That's a different story.
Go Birds.
Listen to the sound. I listen to the sound.